Trey Hendrickson is available out on the trade market reportedly, but I'm going to tell you guys today why the Chicago Bears are probably going to sit out that trade conversation. We'll talk a little bit about that. Plus, it's Friday, so we're going to dive into the mailbag. All that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the content for today, y'all. And of course, I want to start off with this. Everyone's asking about Trey Hendrickson, and now that he's available, and the Cincinnati Bengals gave him permission to go out and seek a trade. And while he would be an absolute stud for the Chicago Bears to land, make no mistake about it, I think when you look at the draft capital that the Bears have already given up to get Thuney in here, right, to get Jonah Jackson in here, I think that it's unlikely that Ryan Poles will be willing to give up more draft capital on top of the money that Trey Hendrickson is going to take to get there. And of course, you look at the money that he's already going to want in an extension and things like that. I just don't think with where the Bears are. This is the same conversation we had with Myles Garrett and other players that came up available reportedly for trade, is that I just don't think right now that the Bears are looking to attach that type of money in that situation. I do think a more shorter-term deal for like a Khalil Mack could be something that is more feasible there for the Chicago Bears. And this isn't a knock on Trey Hendrickson or at all of what his talent is. Unless the Bengals are willing to take all future picks, meaning no picks in this draft, maybe not even any in the 2026 draft. That's unfair. Probably, some in the 2026 draft. I just don't think that the Bears are going to be in a position to try to make a move that size. I just don't think so. We've already cut in so much into our cap space with the two acquisitions that we've made already on top of that. And while Hendrickson is not long-term money, he does have a cap hit this year of $18.6 million, which would be almost half of what the Chicago Bears have available. So I don't think that that's just a feasible deal to move. Now, one could say, well, Hayes, the Bears could restructure some contracts that could make things, and even in maybe extending Hendrickson, they can restructure the final year of his deal as well to give them a little bit more flexibility. And I get that. I think the draft capital part is still the part that stands out the most in that, right? And I just don't think the Bears are in that position to attack that position in that way. I think we got other things that we still need to do that are higher up on the Bears' priority list, and not to say that they aren't going to address the defensive end position, but I just don't think right now with what the Bears have, that's a likely outcome and scenario. So, listen, I would love Hendrickson on this team. I think he's an absolute stud. You look at having him on the opposite side of Montez Sweat and what that could mean for this team, it could be absolutely huge, right? But I think that despite the connection that could be there, and the desire that could be to trade for like a Trey Hendrickson, I just don't think right now it makes a whole lot of sense for where the Bears are. He's 30 years old. I get it. He's a very extremely talented player. But it's not always just about the talent. It's about when and how you add that talent. But you look at adding his 17 and a half sacks, which I think was first in the NFL last year on the opposite of Montez Sweat. It would be an amazing move and pull to make. I think we just got other things that we still haven't addressed the center position, which could get costly to address, right? We still need more depth on that offensive line. It's clear that Ben Johnson also wants a running back. And I think also when you pair in some of the defensive edge prospects that are out there in free agency and in the draft, that I just don't know if trading that draft capital on top of that cap hit is going to be where the Bears are right now. That's just my personal opinion. I know that it's all the rage right now. Bears fans always want the hot name that's out there, and I understand it. Hell, I would love for the Bears to be able to do it, but I just think, in being reasonable and in the world of reality, I don't know if the Bears are prepared to make that level of move right now. So we'll see where the future does hold. Maybe some things change. Like I said, if you start seeing and we start hearing that the Bears are restructuring contracts, that can open up a lot there for the Chicago Bears to maybe do something crazy, right? We'll see what the future does hold there. But I think overall, we'll see. But with that said, the Bears, we know that they've already addressed the guard position. You brought in Smythe as well as a blocking tight end. You've re-signed some of your special teams players. The Bears are going to get to cooking. And I think that ultimately be prepared for a very busy opening of free agency for the Chicago Bears, if not even a busy weekend upcoming for the Chicago Bears as well, as we look to address some other things. So I think you're going to see the Bears get active. I think we've already been very active. You're going to continue to see that activity from the team. So don't be too worried about it. I think we're going to be in we've already done like 7 live streams over the last 3 days. So you're going to get a lot of that, man. You're going to get the Bears are Ryan Poles has set himself up to be extremely active. And I think that this is going to be one of those years where the Bears are going to get a lot of things on paper solved. We just got to hope that those on paper signings that look like they're going to work out for the Bears ends up turning into wins on the football field for the Bears, because that's where we failed at the last couple of years is, getting some good offseason signings, but it not necessarily turning into the wins that we want to see on the football field. So let's hope that that's going to be the case. Also, Ben Johnson was recently voted as the coach most likely to win Coach of the Year next year. And I tell you what, with this, if that does happen, it means that the Bears have won at a decently high level. I think with all the attention around, with the improvements that are coming in as well with Caleb Williams in tow, if you get Caleb Williams playing better, and looking like that guy that everybody wants to see him be, yeah, I think Ben Johnson is going to be in some conversations for Coach of the Year, rightfully so, on top of all of that. So stay on the lookout for that. This is going to be, I think that going into the season, it's going to be hard for a lot of us to keep our excitement kind of tempered, right? That's what it comes down to. You guys know where I've stayed on this for a while now. I've said it multiple times. I'm not going to allow my excitement over these moves going to the season and with expectations into the season. I want to wait and see what this team's going to turn into. I want to wait and see what this team is going to be, not just on paper, but on the football field before I get a little too excited. But we'll see what the future does hold. But this is Friday. That means it is mailbag day. Let's go ahead and get into these voicemails. This one's from Rory.
Hey, what's up, bro? Bobby, C-Dub, Kev, Steve-O. The gang, this is your boy Rory again coming at you. Hey, man. Hey, with the 2 guards we just got, with the 2 linemen we got, man. Hey, like I said, man, Poles is doing this thing, man. And you got a competent, staff now. You know what I'm saying? You got, veterans that, coaching staff, like Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson, as far as with the OC, you know what I'm saying? This is his first time being a coach, but you got competent people that can make the right decisions in picking blue collar players. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we just picked up 2 great offensive guys, you know what I'm saying? And Poles is doing it the right way, you know what I'm saying? He's picking up good quality, and you know what I'm saying, and he's addressing the trenches. And and you ain't really gave up a lot of draft capital, a 6 and a 4. But those type of quality players, come on, man. Then, you got Dennis Allen, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure both of these coaches got their input on these players that they're picking. You know what I'm saying? So, man, then we still got the draft. Man, come on, man. This team has totally transformed into something different. And, we got to have Caleb upright and clean in a clean pocket. You know what I'm saying? So you got those offensive guys, and you addressing these trenches, and you still got the draft to pick more offensive linemen. Come on, dude. Like you guys said, see, y'all made a great point. You got to have the OGs, the veterans, with younger players too. To help mentor them. You know what I'm saying? So they'd be the next, upcoming thing on our team. So I mean, it's a great mixture of both. You know what I'm saying? The old and new. You know what I'm saying? So that way you got good quality. There's a balance. So, man, you got to have Caleb clean, upright, and they got to create pockets, you know what I'm saying, for our running backs to, to run a route as well. But, like I said, with these 2 signings, man, I think that sets us up pretty good for getting Genti. I like Genti. I like Quinshon Judkins. Man, I like that boy Scatterboo. I mean, all them guys, they run hard as heck and they physical. So, I mean, I would like to know what you guys know. Who's your favorite, running back? And who do you think we can realistically get? And what's your choice of running back? So I like them all, man. Because like I said, they all got talent. They all run hard. They all strong as hell. They're hard to bring down. They got that drive in them. They got that dog in them. They physical as hell. You know what I'm saying? But I like them all, man. You know what I'm saying? One of them just passed the, couple of them are faster than the other ones. You know what I'm saying? They say they looking for like a David Montgomery type of running back with that power, but with speed. You know what I'm saying? So these guys bring a lot to the table, man. So I think this team.
Listen, Poles is doing his thing. I think getting in the trenches, getting the pass blocking together, already you can see the attention into detail that he's putting in that. Now, we got other positions that need to be addressed, right? We got to get to the trenches on the other side of the football as well, right? We got to get that. Now with also Jack Sanborn, who's going to be that third linebacker for you, right? The safety position, running back, wide receiver depth. There's still a lot of other questions that we have to answer, but I am happy as hell that Ryan Poles has started off the season being very aggressive about attacking our weakest position and the one that we all know needed the focus, getting that offensive line together. And he's done so with the really reasonable as far as the assets that he's given up. Of course, there's some questions for some Bears fans on the money that those players are due, but you're going to spend. You're going to spend for an offensive lineman. Neither one has guaranteed money out past this year, so the Bears could gain some flexibility in that, and we'll see what the Bears do. But Ryan Poles and the way that he's been aggressive about going out there and doing his thing, it's been really good to see. We just got to see it continue. The process is not done yet. We're not done yet, right? It's been some really good first couple of moves, but we are not nearly done with where we need to be yet. And so let's hope that Ryan Poles can get us there. All right, let's get into the next one, man. This one's from Darius.
What's going on, guys? Darius from Dallas. Hayes, I know you're going to tease me, man, but we got a lot going on this week. I got to call in, bro. This is shit. Sometimes, man, it's just the only bright spot of my day, man. I got to call in, bro. Man, I'm hearing that we getting Joe Thuney as well. I don't think they're not fucking around, bro. To in the same week, we get, a guard, two guards. If we mess around and get another, let's say we do go out and get Dahlman over the next week or two, our interior line is set. And all we got to do is either ride it out with Braxton one more year or go get that Ahmad Mimbao. I've been practicing Ahmad Mimbao, and put him over there at left tackle. Man, they are not fucking around. I've never seen Bears free agency move this quick. They are very aggressive with making like trades and like bringing in people that was never on our radar, throughout the whole year, man. I think they're looking at creative ways to get this offensive line fixed without overspending. Okay. And I think that's a smart approach. Instead of just putting some all-star team together, let's put together guys that are, high level experienced players, will work together and mesh together properly as opposed to just, going to the grocery store and just getting all the most expensive things in the cart. He's just trying to find a way to, be a little more, what do they call it? Eco-friendly or whatever. So, I love it, man. I love it, dude. And I think that all the tea leaves are pointing towards Ben Johnson on Ashton Genti. I really do think that's what he wants. I think he's made up in his mind that, look here, I'm going to get this offensive line fixed in free agency. So that when I go get Genti in a draft, I don't hear you Negro's mouth hollering and bitching about we didn't get a line. So I think that he's going to continue to be aggressive, with building this offensive line. I expect to see it continue over the next couple of weeks. I think 2 weeks from now, we could have 4 or 5 new faces on that line and sitting there and going, dang, we can just go best player available in the draft because all our needs are met. I'd be curious to see what they're going to do at pass rusher. We do need defensive linemen, but I'm glad that they're doing it this way, man. Love it so far. Texas up there now.
Listen, being aggressive, and having a vision to get this offensive line together is something that Ryan Poles talked about. He said once you identify the guys, it's about being out aggressive about going out and getting those guys. So I think that we've seen that. Like I said it in yesterday's episode, Ryan Poles' actions are backing up the words that him, Ben Johnson, and everybody said about how they wanted to go about this offseason. And so maybe that level of confidence in having your coach and feeling so confident and the vision that Ben Johnson's also bringing and what he wants to do with this offense has helped that, right? But Poles is cooking. Now we gotta make sure that we gotta see this thing through now, right? We can't leave a meal partially cooked. We gotta cook this to get some wins. But I do love what's happening here, and I think that Poles has done a really good job. Now, I know as far as Braxton, I think that we're going to get some competition here for Braxton. I don't think there's any way we leave out the draft without somebody who may even start who might outwardly take that starting position for Braxton, or who at least is going to compete for with Braxton for that starting position. So we'll see what happens there. As far as Ben Johnson wanting Ashton Genti, I think that is starting to go that way too, brother. I think, I don't know if it's Ashton specifically or if it's a running back. I know some Bears fans aren't as enamored with Ashton Genti because of the school he went to, the competition, the good offensive line. But I think even if you take all that away, Genti has shown that he is an absolute talent. You got to look at the vision that he has. The way that, you got a good offensive line. The goal is for the Bears to have a good offensive line. But how he picks, how he hits that gap, how he chooses where to hit it with power versus speed, all those things are there. Some people have brought up size with Genti as well. I think, the weight that he has, the shrink that he has, overcomes any height limitations that he has as well. It is starting to feel like Genti is that guy that they're zeroing in on, and we'll see what the future does hold there, brother. All right, let's get into the next one, man. This one's from Keys.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Keys on this Wednesday, man. Man, I was trying to wait, hold out, and give another call, see if we made any more moves, but, bruh, I couldn't, man. So, the move of Joe Thuney, man. Thuney, let's get into his background first off. This is a guy that started his career blocking for Tom Brady. Gets traded, transitions to block for Patrick Mahomes. Now, towards the end of his career, he's going to block for Caleb Williams. Phenomenal career. And in the midst of those years, he's won a Super Bowl. So you know what that tells me? We are trying to win. Not just win now, but win overall. And a guy that can come that's established and help these young boys build up their confidence, man. So just last year, we spent, a total of 10 or 15 million on the offensive line? We just settled that by damn near tripling that to 32. And he's got a 1-year contract. So if it doesn't work out on Jonah Jackson, I believe, and Joe Thuney, we can let both of them go because I feel like we're still going to draft, which we should draft, offensive linemen. We need 2 more young boys. Get those pieces, and then next year build on top of that. This is all about building, not for right now, but for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? And, there's going to be some people, with them getting this, we should go after Ashton Genti. Now, I like Ashton Genti, but hell no. Because if these motherfuckers get hurt, what do we have to replace these guys? Now, I understand that this is part of the game of playing in the trenches, bro. But I still believe in our cap, just looking at it, is $45 million left or something like that. Use that motherfucking money, sign that goddamn center. Because I don't want Jackson playing center. I don't want Thuney playing center. Get a real fucking center. That's going to help strengthen everything. Now, Drew Dahlman is a guy that all of us have been screaming, clamoring for. He's really, really good. But there's also a guy, I think he's going to end up getting re-signed by these motherfuckers, but I think Josh Myers is a pretty good number 2 or number 1. Like, you can battle it out between who you want. But either one of those guys, for sure, go after Dahlman. But if you don't get Dahlman, Josh Myers is 6'5", 315. You know how big that motherfucking offensive line is going to be? You put him in that front. That way, Caleb ain't got no excuse to fucking excel. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if he don't get at least 4,000 yards passing and 30 touchdowns next year, which that's what I'm always expecting out of my guys. If he can't get that, bro, I don't know what to tell you. But let me know what you guys think. As always, shots on up, bear down.
Bears are making moves to win, right? They're making moves to win. Now, how much they're going to win now depends on how well this team in completion comes together. But yeah, man, I think that you're seeing this as clearly these are moves that are designated to put the Bears in the situation where they have a team that can win now, right? You're eliminating that. You're bringing in veterans to help guard for your second-year quarterback. That's what you want. Now, I'm a little bit concerned by how strongly you say young boys. Like, have you been to prison? Jokes. But depth is also very important in those trenches. These offensive linemen are hitting each other, coming, with speeds that are ridiculous, right? And there are going to be some times where a player has to sit, whether it's games or whether it's stretches, whatever it is. So the depth part is going to be important to this as well, on top of just the starting line that we have. So, I like to see Matt Pryor back. I've talked about it before. I think Zittler should be somebody we go out and try to get either way, right? No matter how things shake out, because I think he has that level of talent. So all those things coming together for the Bears are hugely important. and we'll see what the future does hold there. But I think that the Bears are getting some things together and the depth. And I think getting a starting center. One of the things I said coming into this offseason, I want to see a veteran starting center there for the Bears. So whether it's Dahlman or another veteran center, there are some really talented options out there. I still personally hope that it's Dahlman, but I realize that can get very expensive. But you got to get a veteran center in there for me personally. I think you got to get that done because you want that guy who touches the ball first on every single play to be sound. You don't want to have questions there. We've had so many questions here over the last few years on the center position. I don't want that anymore. So let's see what we can get there. Great voicemail there, Keys. Let's get into this next one, man. This one's from Jay.
Yo, what's good, man? Just Jay right here, man. It's been a while since I called. I thought I'd call in for this major moment. Getting Joe through it. I think that's one of the best things that we've gotten. And I hear a lot of people already, some of my friends are saying, hey, we done with Trey Smith. We moved on. We'll worry about that at a later time. And I feel like this was a move not only for now, but a move for later. And it regards Trey Smith. For instance, we were all talking about, hey, one of the pulling pieces that we can get to pull him from Kansas City to Chicago is, hey, we have one of his former college teammates, with Darnell Wright on one side, he'll be on the other. Now we have another one of his teammates from the pros, somebody that he's won championships with, somebody that maybe he has a great bond with. I don't really know what their bond is like, but maybe he has a bond, as offensive linemen usually do with each other. This could be a very pivotal reason in why we have a guy like Trey Smith next year, especially since we'll have a shit ton of money next year. So I'm not really worried about, what they do this year with Trey Smith, this, and the third. I think that ship has sailed this year, but next year, don't be surprised if we go running and gunning for that guy and we end up getting him because we're pulling basically what we did with the Detroit Lions staff, which is basically if we can get one in our midst, then maybe we can get a few more. Maybe there's a few more connections that we can get, and maybe Trey Smith can be one of those. Another piece that I feel like is a major piece that's happening this offseason that some people are talking about, some people aren't, but with Ian Cunningham coming back, I think that's also going to play a big role in how our offensive line looks, how things look. We might get Ashton Genti, which may give a guy like Trey Smith a reason to come. He sees what type of team we're building with Caleb Williams, if we do end up getting a running back at 10, or if we get Scatterboo in the second round. Either way, I feel like it'll give him a reason, especially if we play well, to come through and maybe play for the Bears. Again, with Ian Cunningham being on our team, again, and giving him a lot more reason to stay, seeing how this is what he did with Ryan Poles, being able to say, hey, let's wait. Let's get the guy that we need. We don't have to make any trades. Having that type of mind coming in and helping our GM can only help us out. It will only help us out. So I think this year we still have plenty of moves to make, but I wouldn't say Trey Smith is completely out of our grasp. Maybe so for this year, but don't be surprised if early next year we hear some good news, especially if Kansas City don't look like the same they did this year. We'll see. Chicago up, they're down.
Listen, we'll see what the future holds for Trey Smith. I think so. Like, we got to stop zeroing in on just Trey Smith. Like, yeah, I had the video on how the Bears could still possibly trade for Trey Smith. And that was this year. Or, Trey Smith could, and the Bears are set up to have over $100 million in cap space right now next year. So they have the flexibility to bring in a Trey Smith next year. And it could very well work out to where maybe where the Chiefs, they franchise tag him, he plays 1 year on that deal, and then hits free agency. That can end up working out in the Bears' favor where they have cap space and they can still go out after him next year. But I think you can't keep putting all the eggs in that one basket. You were going to make your swing this year. That's great. But you got to start setting up things to be in a good position everywhere. It's not just, it isn't Trey. I said it even coming into this offseason. It's not Trey Smith or bust as far as the Bears fixing their offensive line now or in the future. Yeah, the Bears have some good future flexibility, but that isn't just built around Trey. That's good for the team overall, right? So we'll see. I don't know if any other major trades are happen this season with the draft capital we've already given up. I just don't personally see that. But I do think that that the major trades could be done, but the major moves are not nearly done for the Chicago Bears yet. Keep an eye out. I think that this is going to be a team that we're going to see all season where a lot of moves are made by the Chicago Bears. I feel very confident in that. So we'll see what the future does hold there. Let's get into the last voicemail of today. This one's from the 773.
Hey, Hayes, how you doing? I heard the other day when you were speaking about Minbow, you said you didn't want to toot your own horn. Man, you discovered him, man. Let me toot your horn for you, man, because, you guys, y'all are really doing a good job, man. Y'all are experts, man. Come from doing research, y'all do your homework. It ain't like you come out there hully-gully. Y'all have y'all information down pat, man. Heard Hayes said one time, I don't even sleep during this time of year. So that's a good job. But what I really wanted to talk about was, organization. You always hear me say, in Pose We Trust. And that's just to keep the sense of organization intact. One thing when Warren talked about Pose, he said, we're on the same page, He said, McCaskey, y'all stay up there in the upper room, man. Don't come out. Let us do this football. Ben Johnson even said about Pole, we tied to the hips. So that means that we on the same page. We all got one goal. So even when he's selecting his coaches, Ben Johnson did that. But when it comes down to player personnel, the responsibility lies strictly on Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham. Now, they get some input from the coaches. That's fine. What I heard on the radio today, man, sort of took me for a loop. The guy said that Poles, speaking about Poles, is like the kid that goes to the store and, the parent sends him with a note as to what to buy. In other words, Poles, that Thuney, that was Ben Johnson's decision and all that, So, that radio station is a little whiny guy on 1000, Radio 1000. I ain't even say no names. It was whiny. But anyway, the fact is, what they're trying to do is to say that, they're not a team or organization. The organization is a group of people that's got one purpose, man. We all supposed to be, the goal is to take the North and win a Super Bowl, whichever comes first. So, when you start that divisive talk, that's divisive talk to me. And what it even has a little leaning toward racial, because, everything that happens is going to be Ben Johnson's accomplishment. And for good reason, what these guys were trying to oust Poles early in the year. They wanted him out. That didn't transpire. Warren even told him that. That's my guy, man. What you talking about?
I am so happy to see Armand Minbow gaining more and more notoriety, him rising up mock drafts. It sucks for the Bears because, when I had him on my mock draft, I had him there because I thought that he was like, hey, this is a guy that has that upside that a lot of people aren't talking about, so maybe he can fall to the Bears here. And while I do think some Bears fans will be a little surprised at him being the pick, he's gonna definitely surprise them when he gets on the football field. So it makes me smile to see him just rise as a talent, him getting that notoriety, because I do think Minbow can be one of the best offensive linemen to come out of this draft. I think he has Pro Bowler upside, does Minbow, and I'm glad that more and more people are recognizing. There are some people that kind of thought I was tripping by having the Bears draft him in round one, but I think he's really bringing that around, right? And to your point, being on the same page, your front office, your coaching staff, as an organization, everybody being on the same page, it makes making moves like this so much easier and be able to move more intentionally because everybody is on the same page about what they need to go out and do and identifying the talent that they want to bring in for those positions as well. And that's how we're seeing the Bears move. It's a revelation. It's great. It's unusual for us because we don't always see that from this Bears team. And I love the fact that we're starting to get that now. So let's see what the future does hold there. But that's my time for today, guys. Make sure you guys are following us at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that's thanks to you lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.